The earliest records of haunted houses go back as far as the ancient Greeks. Even today, the legends and whispers of things that go bump in the night continue. Some of these houses have been so stained by malevolent ghostly spirits that they have been abandoned altogether, and the visitors there are made unwelcome by both the living and something much worse. Here are 10 paranormal abandoned haunted houses. Number 10 is St. Peters Seminary. Built in 1966, St. Peters Seminary in Cardross, Scotland, was to be a seat of learning for the priesthood. Slowly but surely, however, it gained a demonic reputation. After shutting down as a seminary, the building was repurposed as a drug rehabilitation center. By the end of the 1980s, it was completely abandoned. Since then, fire, vandalism, and the elements have eaten away at the building, and yet still it stands. The Catholic Church still pays to ensure the building and has described it as an albatross around the church's neck. Ghostly sightings such as phantom priests, spectral screams, and spontaneous fires have all been recorded there by those brave enough to sneak into this place. All attempts to renovate it have failed, and some believe this is due to the ghostly figures which stalk its abandoned rooms and halls. Number 9 is the Sheriff's House. The Cater House in Buffalo, New York was one of the most haunted houses in America. It was so haunted, in fact, that it was boarded up, left to rot, and eventually demolished in 2013 in order to remove the source of spiritual infestation once and for all. Like many such places, the house had a checkered history of both accidents and tragedies, but it was only once it became vacant due to foreclosure in 1968 that the malevolent spirits really took over. Many have seen the apparition of Sheriff Donald Caters, who was the house's last resident. It was said that the muffled, angry voice of the sheriff could be heard inside the dilapidated structure. Trespassers were urged not to enter the house due to its fragile state, but some believe this was a cover story and that the true threat came from a vengeful spirit. Number 8 is 300 Kim Ma. This bizarre house in Vietnam is both forbidden and haunted. Originally constructed to be the Bulgarian embassy, it was abandoned for an unknown reason. Unlike many of the surrounding homes, the building is relatively new, but no less feared than a creaking old mansion. Most in the neighborhood refused to set foot in the building, and despite efforts as recent as 2014, no one was willing to renovate it and move in. Experts in Vietnam have concluded that the land upon which it lies is bad, and this cursed land has brought about the terrifying apparitions as well as noises that occur there. Most frightening of all are the descriptions of floating white entities with glowing eyes which have attacked those brave enough to enter the abandoned building. 300 Kim Ma is now owned by the government and is still off limits. Number 7 is Chow Ni, number 81. This house in Beijing is one of the most famous haunted houses in China. Because of incomplete historical records, no one is certain who built the house. One theory is that it was completed in 1910 and was owned by a man who fled the country, leaving his wife or mistress behind. This ties into the terrifying ghost which is often encountered there. During the 1960s, communist guards moved in but soon fled. Stories circulated that they were chased from the residence by an unspeakably grotesque spirit. Lying empty for so many years, locals feared the house, citing blood-curdling screams which emanated from it, especially during thunderstorms. In just the last year, attempts have been made to renovate the house and restore it, but for some, this will only enrage the spirits who walk there even more. Number 6 is Manuel Varela House. Known as the Devil House, this abandoned mansion in Colombia has a macabre history. The mansion was owned by a man named Manuel Varela. He was a physician, but instead of healing people, it was rumored that he carried out yearly sacrifices and made a pact with the devil. Varela arrived in the area in 1908 from abroad and quickly accumulated wealth. Many believed at the time that he was sacrificing his loved ones who disappeared mysteriously, and by doing so was rewarded in turn with further fortunes. Those who live nearby today say that the abandoned house and its grounds are a hive of paranormal activity, and few dare go there at night. Some go as far as to say that a shadowy figure has been seen walking through the grounds and is none other than the devil himself. Number 5 is Bern's Ghost House. In the city of Bern, Sweden, there is a medieval house which has a notorious reputation as one that you would not want to sleep in. For much of its most recent life, it has remained uninhabited, abandoned to silence itself. There have been several ghostly encounters at number 54 Junkerngasse. One of the most compelling involves repeated eyewitnesses who have seen the body of a headless woman staring at one of the windows as they walked past. Many have seen this ghost most often just after midnight. Those who have seen her say that her appearance is accompanied by a horrid cackling laugh. Despite being in a desirable part of the town, the house continues to scare away any brave guest and has remained on the market for some time. Number 4 is the most haunted house in Korea. This old 2-story building in South Korea is feared by many for more than just its loneliness, and when tourists ask to see it, many tell them not to go for fear of disturbing evil spirits which haunt it. The building can be found north of Pohang Town and is often known as Yeongdeokgae Ghost House. No one knows why it's abandoned, as in its heyday during the 1980s, it would have been an attractive house with beautiful countryside around it. Several paranormal groups and television crews have investigated the house, picking up the sounds of strange disembodied voices, as well as seeing apparitions of soldiers on the property. It has recently been revealed that the house sits on top of a mass grave, which is now seen as the cause of the activity. Number 3 is Coolbawn House. This 19th century mansion in Ireland has developed a fearsome reputation as a paranormal hotspot. Built between 1840 and 1855, the house was once a lavish spectacle for its owner, Francis Bruin, who built it for his bride-to-be. The family had no children, and with its owner spending most of his time in London, the house and its sprawling grounds were overseen by a fearsome landlord. As the Bruin family withered away, by 1911, it was occupied by 4 servants and then burned to the ground by the IRA in 1923. Several apparitions haunt the ruins, but it is the ghost of a servant girl which has caused most distress to those trying to visit it. She was struck by lightning while standing next to a window. Her outline burned into the glass. Many believe her anguished spirit brought about the eventual destruction of the house. Number 2 is the Old Stone House. Known as the Herrera House, the Old Stone House can be found in Sayong in the Philippines. Built in 1927, the house has a creepy colonial appearance with lifeless stone statues staring blankly at visitors. It's been abandoned for some time, and with good reason. The house was used by Japanese soldiers during the occupation there, and it's said many atrocities were committed within the house. Those atrocities have left an imprint, with visitors hearing the shackled footsteps of spectral prisoners of war shuffling across the stone floors. The rooms inside have been stripped of its past regal appearance, but several other spirits continue to haunt the emptiness. This includes an elderly couple, a headless apparition, and another lady whose children can be seen but who remains invisible to any adult. And number 1 is Aljazeera Al Hamra. This is more than just one haunted house. It's actually an entire village which once housed nearly 3,000 people. Local competing groups laid claim to the village throughout the early 20th century, resulting in an agreement for most of the people living there to leave. However, some believe that there's more to it than that. Those who still live in the region believe that the empty, abandoned houses attracted something from the wilderness. They believe the houses are now haunted by powerful demonic entities known as jinn. Brave souls who visit the derelict village have seen creeping demonic figures between the crumbling buildings. Visitors are encouraged to leave the houses alone at night, but several people have ignored this warning and ran afoul of the jinn, who are said to feast on the flesh of the living.